Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Hangout at the Pillai Center. Today, we are talking all about how the Light Body program from last year has changed people's lives. And particularly, I have two guests, David Haley coming to us live from London in the UK, and Mohini, as most of you know, is Dr. Pillai's longest-standing student and always sharing her miracles with us. So today, we're really focusing in on how miracles have happened and complete transformations have happened in people's lives because of their commitment and participation in Dr. Pillai's premier Light Body program from last year. And of course, you know, he is inviting and making this extension to another offer to another Light Body program starting in just about a week. So first, I would like to talk to David. David, thank you so much for joining us today and coming to share your story. You have an incredible story, and if you could start with where you were prior. I know you're on the phone, so people won't be able to see you, but where you were prior to last year around this time, because that's when you started in the program.
Yeah, thank you. Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm trying to contextualize. I try to make you all understand where I was at. I met Baba in about 2000. And essentially, I was on about 70% of the UK average wage. Over the period of time, I'm now on about 140% of the UK average wage. My life over the period of the time being with Baba has changed. It's been very good. I have, to put that in context, I have a new car every year. I have a lovely apartment in a very affluent area of England. The reason you can't see me is because I live in such a deserted area, but my telephone system is so bad. Because nobody wants a good telephone system. It's a very secluded part of the UK. Of course, I can also afford the Light Body program. Financially, I am doing all right. And the big thing for me in terms of my employment, where I'm at, I work in a very big multinational company. And essentially, my pension scheme, in many ways has held me back, but in other ways really, gave me a lot of security, really. Is that in 4 years to come, I will be able to leave my company and be on 50% of my salary for the rest of my life. You can imagine what sort of security that gives me and my sort of plan in life, really.
Yeah.
It's sort of like becoming retired and then 100% going into meditation, almost like withdrawing to the world, becoming a sitter. Doing it in England in the middle of a field. So it was my sort of plan that I could afford to do everything I needed to do. Everything was in place that I needed to do for my future. And of course, I took the Light Body program this year just to really teach me how to really grow in terms of just become, turn into light. I could actually just pop off and go into a different world, really.
Yeah.
So that was really my sort of plan then. And so ask the question is, why would you change? And the reality is, why would I? No point. In terms of I could think, well, you could get some more money, you could have a nicer life. For those of you who have worked in a big company or even just an office environment, you know the sort of politics games that people play. You think, I don't want that. I'm doing okay. I know my life is okay. It's sort of like a bit insular, a bit withdrawing from the world. In essence, it was working okay. So really, the Light Body program, one of the two big things that came up for me in terms of my own beliefs were being really concrete put in there. There's no such thing as coincidence. God is always trying to talk to you all of the time. That was really sort of like just coming up with his message all the time. So, if I'm honest with you, the people I work with are very unconscious. What happened was I had two temporary members of staff, and it was really surprising me. A couple of things. Both said different things to me. One said to me how negative I was, and I thought, wow, I thought I really hit that well. Really thought that I'd managed to hide this person in there, and he saw it within about 10 minutes. That was a big one. And the other person was talking about,
David?
Yeah?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit, so I'm just going to recap as you go.
Okay.
So folks can hear properly. So basically you said you started out, you started out with at 70% of the average salary in the UK, and now you're at 120 or 140? 140%, so you've made a significant increase in your salary. you through following Dr. Pillai's teachings over the years, and you felt secure in that you would be able to withdraw from society in your life even more to meditate deeply because you were setting yourself up financially with your pension, and you felt good about that. Then this year you kind of realized that maybe living outside of your comfort zone might be something that is of your best interest. So you have a temp, and then God has been talking in coincidental or non-coincidental ways, and you have a temp that came to your office, and two of them, and one of them said that you were negative, and you thought you were hiding that really well, right? Okay, and that's where I think we left off. So go ahead.
Okay, and so the next one was the other temp was talking about how difficult her childhood was, and so really it was trying to. I live in one of the richest countries in the world, and I thought about her lifestyle and how her life, in many ways, although she's had a difficult time, we have all the support networks, the counselling, etc. This country helps that sort of person. Mm-hmm. What really struck me when we listened to many of your things you talk about is the kids in the Hope Center. Mm-hmm. I thought, who is going to help them? Mm-hmm. Who can they reach out to? There's nobody, absolutely nobody. So although I was donating some money, I wasn't really doing enough. Mm-hmm. Couldn't really afford to do much more, actually. And I've set my life up in this way, and it works well for me. I do fairly well. Mm-hmm. So what I decided within this program was that the main things is, one, I made a commitment to be positive. Two, I applied myself 100% to the course. What else was I going to do? Mm-hmm. The third one, I started really talking to God more, just my thoughts and hopes on a more personal level. And so through that, I did nothing else with that, just really tried to just focus in with that. And what was the result of that? Bear in mind, if we come back to my previous one, I wasn't going to go for promotion because I would just end up in a more difficult situation, in a more political environment. And I thought, I don't want to do that. But the job came up in a totally different part of the company, in a very specialist area. I had no qualification to do it, no experience. A chance of getting that was virtually impossible. Mm-hmm. I'm 50 years old in a major company like that. Chance of getting each job was less than zero, really. Mm-hmm. But I applied for it. I went for it because it's something I really thought about doing. It really appealed to me. I almost had that idea that God was saying to me, this is the one, go for it. I did the interview. If I'm honest with you, it's one of the simplest interviews I've ever done. I can't believe how it went. It just seemed to flow totally. In 2 days, they said, do you want the job? Mm-hmm. Off I go. I get a significant increase in salary. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I then email Mohini and say, my life's changed. I want to try and do a bit more. I'm really concerned about the kids. Can I do something else? She basically turned around and said, by coincidence, 13th in Rameshwaram is coming on stream in June. Do you want to take that on? Mm-hmm. And I was so lucky, so honoured to do that I just jumped at the chance. Mm-hmm. The reality is, in terms of my journey, is the extra cost of doing this, in terms of supporting these kids, it's cost me nothing because the extra money has covered it. Mm-hmm. I'm actually probably slightly better off. Right. By just having a different attitude, applying myself in a different way, and just trust it's changed. That's really my story, going back really. Mm-hmm. I've sort of changed really a lot.
That's incredible. And the second intern temp who came in and told you about her life as a challenge, I think it's really amazing that you equated that to the Hope Center kids and how, this woman in one of the most wealthy countries in the world had a tough time and is still suffering, yet look at these children who have nothing. And I think it really speaks to your compassion and your love for children and humanity to make that connection, because a lot of people wouldn't. So I want to acknowledge you for that. And thankfully that was probably one of your first steps outside of the I'm going to just sit and meditate and forget about everyone else. I'm doing just fine. And look at the miracles it's brought you. The fact that you wanted to sponsor this Hope Center and was inspired to do so and got the new job, all of that in my opinion, really turned around your life.
It's almost like a byproduct of me doing the, I wanted to spend more money, but help the kids more, and the byproduct, the rest of my life's changed. It is amazing. And I think really where it's like I'm going on to like year 2 now. I didn't do the first year. I didn't commit to that one. I can really see now that my life has changed. It is. I mean, people listening out there wondering whether to do it. I'm actually still scared. I'm really scared about the future because I've made such a commitment to my life in terms of how it's all set up. I know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden I'm saying, well, maybe there is a possibility for 100% life. Maybe I can go forward with this.
Right.
It's like all I'm going to do, the same thing, is commit to the cause, do the teachings, follow through, and just see what happens. What have I got to do? There's nothing else. I've got to this point. I can just, next year say, well, fair enough. But I really feel in my heart that something will change again. I'm just open to it, and I'm asking for help. And that's really where I sort of see that coming forward, really.
Right. And you asked for help. You stepped into commitment. You listened and witnessed messages from the divine, the universe speaking to you, and you acted. And that's what. That is a formula for changing your life. So if people are tuning in to see, what it is they can do for their life. I think you're a great example of that. And thank you so much for sharing today, David.
Thank you.
And now, speaking of changing one's life, Mohini is one of the experts in that area. So thank you so much for joining, Mohini. We have internet connectivity issues for both our friends here, so we'll see a picture of Mohini as she speaks. So thank you so much, Mohini, for joining.
Great to be here. At least I feel like I'm with everyone in the ether.
You are. Are you there?
Yes. So
okay.
Where would you like me to jump in?
So please jump in on how your story this past year and how your life has significantly changed. We heard from David, and I know you spoke with him throughout the year as his journey evolved, and how inspiring that was, and your story of how you really made that commitment to this year's program. You've been with Dr. Pillai for over 20 years, and this has become, and you mentioned on the masterclass, this is one of the most significantly impactful and transformational years of your life. So give us a little glimpse on how you did that and how others can too.
Okay, well, I'd love to do that because I owe it all to Dr. Pillai. So I'm offering this gift up to other people so that hopefully through my story, it's like a how-to. You can also have the most incredible year of your life. So when you said it was one of the most impactful, it was the most impactful. It was definitely the most amazing year of my life. And it really starts at the same place where David's story started, and that is commitment. So I just want to give the highlights of my story, and then I want to give the how-to part because I want my story to be really practical and hopefully share some great lessons that I learned in terms of how you can have total life change. So where I started at the beginning of last year's Light Body program, and many of you have been reading my story in the Pillai Center newsletters, so I'm just going to hit some of those highlights there. I was at a place which was good for me, meaning that I was at a place in my life where I needed a big change. I was watching the Light Body Global Forum last year, where Dr. Pillai delivered a landmark message on the light body, and I heard words that would really change my entire year and definitely my life. And he said, right now you only believe in the illusion of the physical body, and all you need to do is believe in the reality of the light body that you already are. Now, laying there watching the show, I had recently had a high-impact road accident in India, so I was unable to host the show. I was literally laying in bed, feeling quite unwell, and when I heard those words, I thought, okay, this is a good time in my life to commit to experiencing the light body that I already am. Because this physical body, recovering from the accident, this is an unpleasant reality. And I had really experienced the fragility of the physical body, meaning if the accident had gone just a little bit differently, I could have been facing a condition that would have really impacted seriously the rest of my life. So luckily, I had a head injury and a spine injury, but I was going to be able to recover. But it really gave me a lesson that this physical body is not permanent, that's for sure. And it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable at any moment to leaving you in a condition where your life would really be negatively impacted. So when Dr. Pillai first gave me that thought that I already have a light body, I don't need to go out and get a light body. I have a light body. I just need to commit to experiencing that, because so far I've been committed to the physical body. So that turned around everything for me, and I went deeply within and prayed, show me the light body that I already am. Now, I brought the commitment, and the vehicle was the light body program. It was just God's grace how it all started, that as soon as I began my recovery process, the light body program kicked in. And this light body program is not just a program. I'm going to go into that later on. But it's really a doorway into entering a living laboratory with Dr. Pillai, where he walks you through an incredible universe that's filled with his consciousness, his intelligence, miraculous consciousness, total wisdom, and it helps you get into realms that you didn't even know were possible. So what happened was that I went deeply into meditation to heal myself, and I prayed, show me the light body that I already am, and it happened. It happened immediately and magically, and I won't go into much detail, but my first out-of-body experience was something where when it happened, it was like, in a split second, I'm free. Oh, I'm finally free. My God, I don't feel sick anymore. I don't even feel my body. I feel nothing. In fact, I'm part of the light in this realm. I'm no different than this light. There was light, infinity, total intelligence. That was everything that I was. I was no longer limited, restricted, and I totally saw the contrast between my life being committed to the physical body and my new sense of reality, that I was only believing in a bad, limited reality. And when I chose to commit to experiencing the light body that I already was, it happened in a split second. And what happened from there was that day after day, I would continue to have these out-of-body experiences, and I was very much focused on this point of infinity. And every day I was like an explorer, and I was traveling farther and higher in terms of how I could reach that point of infinity. And it was all very beautiful, very blissful, but very practical, and that's what I want to focus on is the practicality of it. Yes, it is a great gift to have incredible spiritual experiences where you experience a life that you didn't know was possible, and a part of yourself that you didn't know what was possible. But the practical part of it was that all the time that I spent in that other realm, in my astral body or light body or whatever you want to call it, it changed me at a very profound level when I re-entered my physical body. Because I was in a realm and space that was authentic to the highest part of myself, my light body. And in that space, there was no limitation, because you're total light, and you're in the realm of light. And intelligence was available in a split second, and it was not lingual. So everything was downloaded instantaneously and understood. There was no long process. And it gives you a tremendous sense of expansion to see that there's no boundaries to who you are or what you can do. So what happened was that I kind of entered phase 2 of my journey last summer when I went to the U.S., and I decided to commit myself to expanding Tripura's mission throughout the globe. Until then, I had worked long and hard for many years, at expanding Tripura's work in India and doing very important foundational work, and we had phenomenal success, especially with education, in the field of education, with children at the poorest level. But in my life, I always wanted to do something that would make a difference to everyone in the globe, not just a subset of people, but everyone. And for all of us, there are certain things that we want to do in our life that we must achieve, no matter what. And this was it for me. I needed in my life to have that sense of accomplishment that I could help all the people living in utter hopelessness and help them to get out of that hopelessness, live a life of hope and purpose. So when I began to understand what poverty was and how it impacted you at the deepest level, and its hopelessness of every degree, then I committed myself to that. So when I went to the U.S. after all these experiences that I had in out-of-body experiences and understanding what was that part of myself that was so much greater than the physical body, what happened is that all of a sudden the doors opened, the right people came, very talented, dedicated people, and the visions that I had of how I could make Dr. Pillai's brain-changing education into a process, a methodology that can be implemented anywhere, in the public schools of India, in the private schools, in Mexico, that it would work anywhere, it would work in any setting for any child, and it could truly revolutionize education. I didn't have any plan of how it was going to happen, but it all happened to me like lightning, because I know that social service is a hard, long path usually, and you put in a lot of effort, but because you're working with people in poverty, there's a lot of challenges. That summer, things happened for me like lightning in terms of how I could use my experience of what was an expanded state of reality in the light body that I already was. I brought it to the work that mattered to me most. And so I was able to really create the beginning of a global revolution of education for Tripura in what seemed like no time at all. So it was like life moving for me at lightning speed, doing what I was so passionate about and wanted to do most, and it was all happening very magically. So the experience went on for the rest of the year, and just quickly, when I went back to India, there were further experiences where Dr. Pillai suggested, the most profound experience you could have is to be abducted by a divine being, and I thought, well, that sounds fantastic, I opened up to it, and it happened. And it happened not once or twice, but it happened with different beings in different ways. And again, those experiences are not to be left by themselves, meaning that, yes, a spiritual experience is something very precious and very valuable. But again, what happened was that I was accessing intelligence and wisdom and new states of consciousness and information that I had not had any access to before. And I brought that back to my life. And again, things just expanded in my service to Dr. Pillai's mission and to the poor in ways that I couldn't even imagine that it would happen. So now I'm finishing 1 year, and it's interesting, I'm going off again to the US. But this time, we're going to be presenting Dr. Pillai's brain-changing education to very notable people in education and people of influence who are already very much interested. We have opportunities to prove how this can change around entire school districts and in very meaningful ways. So in 1 year, I've just arrived at a place where I can see that through committing myself to the light body that I already was, it was really committing myself to my highest self. And commitment to me was not just an attitude or a nice feeling or a vow that I took, but I practiced it every day. And Dr. Pillai's light body program was the vehicle that I committed to. And this vehicle gave everything in terms of all the meditations and the practices and the techniques. They open up a portal to what I call this living laboratory, where there you are. You're in a realm and universe that you would never have access to. There's no way you can get access to a place like that Even if you had meditated for all your life, you can't get access to those realms. But a master who's already in that realm, and if he opens up the portal, takes your hand and brings you in, it all happens so magically. All the most fantastic experiences I had this past year happened in a split second. There was no time and there was no effort. It all happened to me because I was committed. I picked the right vehicle. That was the Light Body program. Incredible things happened within me, and incredible things happened in my life, and incredible things are happening for other people because of that. So that's my story, and I hope it's of practical value to people because it's something that I'm really passionate about, and that is, I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, I really want to change every aspect of my life, but I don't see them having the commitment. And for me, thank God, I was in a position where I had to commit, because otherwise I was committing to an unpleasant reality of being in a body that was quite unwell. And I felt like this is the time to make a choice to commit myself to the light body, especially if I can say this is not something that I go and buy at a supermarket. This is something that exists within me, and I just have to commit to that part of myself. And Dr. Pillai will give me all the teachings and the techniques and open the portal and take my hand literally and walk me into that aspect of myself, which can change everything in your life. It did for me, changed everything in my life. So that's what I brought. I brought the commitment. And to me, commitment is only 100%. 99% commitment, that's not commitment. Commitment is 100%. And if you have 100% commitment, then you can be as creative as you need to be in order to see how you stay committed on a daily basis. And that's what I did with the Light Body program. I didn't do it in the exact way that it was given. And some of those practices were too long for the time that I had during the day. So I would listen to it all throughout the night and wake up and hear it. Then I would, early in the morning when I was laying in the bed, I would turn it on when I was too tired to get out of bed. I would listen to the techniques when I was in the shower. I would take 5 minutes between calls and do the techniques in my head. I did whatever I needed to do because I was committed. Mm-hmm. I had the vehicle. The two were put together. 1 + 1 = 2. You know, it's like 1 + 1 equals an amazing, incredible life. So I hope that is helpful.
That's fantastic. And I love people are getting the theme here that commitment is certainly the first step in transforming your entire life. And 100% commitment, because both David and you made a deep commitment to yourself and to others to experience something brand new. And hopefully our folks at home are getting that message and able to start doing that, or whatever it takes to make that commitment. Interesting, I've had the opportunity to share some time with Dr. Pillai as he's preparing for the new program, and talk about commitment. He is 100% committed, and I feel like when he is putting himself into a program so deeply and so intensely, when we do the same thing, he meets us there. And I think that's what you were saying, Mohini, that the program does it for you, because he has already created the constructs that we would be walking into. And one of the most unique things about this program, I've been studying with Dr. Pillai for 14 years now, and I have never seen, and I've gotten glimpses into the first session on what he's going to be doing, and I have to say that I have never seen one of his courses, which is so really the 200% life concept. He is being incredibly practical with tips and techniques on what we can do on a regular basis to truly transform our relationship to time, ourselves, opening up a whole new destiny for ourselves, and the absolute spiritual side of it, where he will bring us into those realms like you have experienced, Mohini. And to have him really be inside of this beautiful selection of, what should I say, teachings that I've never seen him really do quite so intensely is amazing. And those who have already enrolled are in for some amazing stuff. And we also invite any of you who are on the fence out there to make that commitment, to take that step. We heard from Ragini last week about how when she set aside her really kind of mental prejudice on how much money it was going to cost for her to step in, and really made that sacrifice to her the exchange was there between her and the program, and it opened up. It just things, the issues fell away, and her life opened up into a beautiful awakening of relationships and spirituality and finances, just having miracles all around. So, Mohini, do you have anything else you'd like to contribute to helping folks take that step and what it could mean to them?
Yeah, you're talking about something now. This is where the rubber meets the road, and that is considering before you make the commitment, what do you need to do? Yes, that there is an energy exchange. Now, I look back at this year in my life, and I feel that it's a new life. It's probably it feels like the first year of my life. Spiritually, in terms of spiritual experiences, and most important for me, I'm not here to work at amassing money, but I want to amass hope for the hopeless, and that's what I've been amassing all year, and to actually be able to have that kind of change in your life, it's very difficult putting a price tag on that, because you're also talking to a person. I know what it's like to have illnesses or accidents or things that leave you where you really need an answer. You need health back in your life, and that was part of my journey too. I had an amazing healing. So all that is something that you have to give an exchange for having that kind of transformation. It's an energetic exchange, and I'm a huge believer in exchange. That's what makes life work. So part of this commitment to the Light Body program, it's an inner attitude. It's a solid vow within yourself, and there is an energy exchange where you pay the money. It's significant. Why? Because you're going to receive something so significant that you can't even imagine what's inside that package. So with the Light Body program, if you look at it from your logical mind and you read down through the benefits of what you receive, yes, there are phenomenal webcasts with Dr. Pillai. There are incredible meditation techniques. There's a global community of teachers that can help you at every level. But that's not what you're giving the energetic exchange for. You're giving the energetic exchange for Dr. Pillai to open up the portals to his miraculous universe and invite you in and walk you through it day by day, and send you all the blessings and transmissions and empowerment. And this is the way that it works with a master. In the olden days, you had to be in the forest with the master, and you had to sacrifice. You had to really give yourself in order for the master to open up the doorways of consciousness to you, where you can experience a superhuman reality. So that's how it works even nowadays. It's an energetic exchange. It's something called Guru Dana. And that really seals the commitment, because it demonstrates the commitment. And but that amount which is being paid, even though it's significant, just think, what is it worth to you to totally change every aspect of your life, and really critical parts of your life? Meaning a body that doesn't have to go through the pains of aging and disease and decay, or to have a turn in your career or whatever you do in your life, that you could have your most fulfilling experience of who you want to be and what you want to give back to the world. It is very difficult putting a price tag on that. So the amount needs to be significant in order for the energetic exchange to be fulfilled, because you are entering a universe with a master that it is a very precious thing, and there has to be some element of sacrifice. So that's what makes the commitment work, is that you demonstrate your commitment by being able to put something on the table which is tangible, and that is really it seals the relationship that happens in this program. This program is all about a very committed inner relationship with Dr. Pillai, where he will do the work for you, and that's what I experienced. Nothing that I did in this past year, did I do it myself? No. It happened to me. it all happened to me. And Dr. Pillai was able to do that because I gave him my commitment. So I just wanted to reiterate that point, is that people often think, is this program too advanced? You know, is it going to take too much of my time? Is it too much money? Well, what would you pay to have an entirely new life? What is that worth to you? And you'll find the time. You'll find the time and you'll make it work.
Definitely, and that's going back to commitment and the ability to make that first step. I've studied with other spiritual masters, and it's not new to have some exchange. It has something that especially brings you outside of your comfort zone. I know when I've studied with other masters, it definitely pushed me. And if I did not have that push to have to really change my life in a material aspect in order to have the experiences with him, I wouldn't have changed inwardly. And Dr. Pillai is doing that. And he doesn't do it to everyone. And I think that that's what makes, one of the things that makes this program so unique is that he gives an opportunity, he gives a doorway for those who want to be challenged, for those who want to really make these significant changes, that this is the opportunity. He is presenting it for those who are ready to walk through that door. And he has said many times, it is not for everybody. And this program is not. But it is for those who have that deep calling and who are willing and ready to take that commitment. David mentioned how he had to make enough money to be in the program, but then once he was in it, it was that commitment to really opening up his life. And I think, you know, Ragini said the same thing. As soon as she made that commitment and things opened up, and you, Mohini, so we'd love to have all of those who that doorway is being presented and you have that calling to walk through it. And if you have the intention to join the program and haven't done it yet, please email us at office@pillaicenter.com. And the program does start on June 1st, not too far away. And we've extended the registration deadline to June 15th for those who need a little more time to situate being able to join and figure out the logistics. You'll be able to catch up, so don't worry. And of course, the other aspect of the program, which we have talked about before, is the rituals and the remedies that on a soul level, an energetic level, they're consistently being done for us every single day by experts in India who know how to use this technology to do rituals on our behalf, which shift our consciousness, which is another way that Dr. Pillai opens up this portal that you talked about, Mohini, so that we are more susceptible, more able to be transformed by his grace and his teachings and our own actions. So that's about all that I had. Mohini, did you have anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, there's something that comes to my mind, and that is when Dr. Pillai talks about the light body, he often says it is not a losing proposition. I really get that after this past year. This is only a win-win situation. Winning in terms of you gain everything spiritually, and you gain everything in terms of how that translates into changing every aspect of your life. So it's just amazing when I look back, and I didn't know what I was committing to when I was committing to the light body. I really didn't know. I didn't know that it would impact every area of my life in a very real way. So that is a winning proposition. To me, it's also an express elevator that Dr. Pillai is opening up for people, and the time is ripe. The time is now. 2014 is a fantastic time. What a great time to have the most amazing year of your life. So yes, along with you, I just want to invite everyone, if you feel the call, contact us. Contact us, and it's fantastic that we've been able to extend the registration deadline and that the door is open, and we really want everyone who really desires to walk through that door and to enter a new life. Join us.
Yes, absolutely. And David, I know you're still here.
Yeah.
Anything you'd tell our friends about?
I think two things really have struck me. One is the money bit. I really get that, and I had the same issues. But the real important thing was, for me, it really focused me. I realized that it was a choice, a really good holiday or doing this. Would I miss the holiday or would I miss this? And that was a big thing for me. Once I got over that, it changed my life. I can go to Disney World any other time. I had a Mickey Mouse life before. I want it life now.
That's great.
And the second thing, which never really touched on, but it's at a personal level as well, is the commitments there as well. It's true. But the big one I think that I've really noticed about me, and also looking back over my life, is just how closed my heart was. And you meet so many people in life, and that's, oh, I want this, I want that, but my heart's open, I want relationships. But I noticed as a guy that when you meet a lot of these people, it would be easier to climb over Mount Everest and to get through the barriers that most people put up. And I think what this has taught me is let them down, it will be okay. And I think for most people to do that is extremely difficult. And you can see how Mohini's changed. You can see when my life has changed. I just let people in, which I stopped doing. I had the plan to just avoid everybody. And now I'm saying I've got 30 kids I'm helping. It's like, what happened there? I opened my heart and speak. I haven't cried so much in years.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So if anyone's thinking about it, it will change your life. It will change your life if you commit and if you trust, if you try, and it just try.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was really touching, and I think that's true. For a lot of people, it's a really good vacation. Which one are you going to choose? A completely transformed life after a year, or sooner, most likely, or a week or a couple weeks in an exotic location. And I love that David is now with his 30 children and having all these beautiful experiences, and he wouldn't have happened if he hadn't made that commitment and really stepped into his true light and his true life and a new destiny. So thank you both for joining, and thank you all for watching out there. We hope that we made a difference for you this week. And if you're not able to join the program, hopefully you've taken these tips and you'll be able to apply them also to whatever it is you're doing. And for those who are interested in joining and haven't yet, contact us, office@PillaiCenter.com. And for those who already have made that commitment, we look forward to welcoming you on June 1st. I am personally really excited. Like I said, I've gotten a glimpse into what Dr. Pillai has been doing, and it's incredible. Nothing like he has ever done. Even if you've been in the last 2 years of Light Body program, it is brand new, and it is incredible. So thank you all, and we will talk to you soon. Namaste.